G'day, I'm Len and welcome to Dice It Up Gaming. Now if you'd noticed behind me you'd see X-Men Marvel United. I think it's ready for the picking. Just give me a sec to take a look. Oh yeah, no, she's good. She's looking pretty good. So how about we get it to the table to check out the components and the rules. I'll see you at the table. Table's that way. Welcome to the table, folks. What I've got here laid out before you is X-Men Marvel United. It's the all the components out of the core box. We've got the location cards here, where you've got eight to choose from, but you only use 6. You've got your villain dashboard. Well, sorry, your mission guide, where you put your villain dashboards and your mission cards on. You'll always use this for the core box. For if you get expansions, it will, I think sometimes they are different. Now here you've got your villain dashboard, your villain dashboard. You've got 4 to pick from. So you've got Juggernaut, Magneto, Mystique and Sabretooth to pick from. Here we've got your threat tokens. Now they go on your location cards. You'll see just on the bottom down here, they tend to populate those icons there. You've got your mission cards, which goes with your mission guide. So you always use 3 of them. They'll sit down sort of there. You only use 3. This one here, use Cerebro, is only used for when you use Magneto. So you've got defeat thugs, clear threats, and rescue civilians. Now you've also got your villain tracker. Now I haven't had to use this in the core box. I believe it might be used for expansions. And you've got a your superhero and supervillains. Now this is a 1 to 5 player game where 1 plays as a villain and up to 4 heroes play against them. It also is a 1 to 4 player game cooperative where 1 to 4 heroes play against the board. So when you play the 1 against 5, the villain against 4 heroes, what you use is the heroes will pick some superhero cards where they can use as a, I guess as a bonus. Same with the villain gets to pick some villain cards and they can use that along with their other cards as well. So and now also we've got here is your challenge cards. Now if you find playing the game gets a bit easy, you can actually mix it up and add a challenge to it. Now we've got over here we've got your minis. This is what probably a lot of people will be waiting for. Now here we've got Juggernaut. See if I can keep him in there. Now I don't mind these minis. They look pretty good. Some of them do have a bit of gaps through them, but other than that, they're sort of looking pretty good. So that's Juggernaut. This is Sabretooth. Now this is the villain they recommend to start with. So it's the villain I'll be using for the rules and setup a bit later on. Here's your Magneto. Now these are purple because these ones here can be used as a villain or as a hero. But if you play it as a hero, obviously you can't play him as a villain. Because, well, 1, you don't have the mini, and 2, it'd just be weird. So that's Magneto. You've got Mystique. So I like how the bases there come pre-based. That's Mystique. Now on to the heroes, and as you can see, the heroes are blue, the villains are red, and you got purple, which can be both. I like how they do that. It makes it simple to pick. So this one here is Professor X. Again, I'm looking forward to having a crack at painting these ones. So hopefully I might be able to get a video out there to show you that it's easy enough to put a coat of paint down. Like, I'm not a professional, but I do have a crack. This one here's Beast. Now you can see, I was talking about the gaps. Like, there's a bit of a gap there. But I don't mind. That's, to me, that's nothing. I'll still paint that, and it'll still look pretty good. I'm sure, like, you get the professionals out there, they can fill up those gaps and make it look even better. And here you got Cyclops. So if I can have a picture of his face, there he is. That's Cyclops. And then we got Jean Grey. That's Jean Grey. Here we got Storm. She's looking pretty good too. I like the poses as well. Like, I have some minis there from some games, and you know, they're just on a flat base and not really doing much. But here, I'm loving them. They're looking really good. Yeah. Now, I left the last one here, Wolverine. He's my favourite. I love Wolverine when I was a kid. Watched him in the cartoons. Favourite superhero there, along with Spider-Man. That's him. Get a nice close look on his cranky face there. Love it. Those claws look pretty good too. Now that's Wolverine. Along with the minis, you've got obviously your matching hero cards. So there's your matching hero cards that go with it. And then up here you've got your villain cards, which are the master plan cards. With their corresponding threat cards that these ones here go on your locations. So essentially this becomes your timer in the game, and these are your health. And over here we've got our tokens. So you got your Senator Kelly. These are all tokens for certain villains that you use. You need to use the tokens. You got your Hunted token. Over here you've got your villain health tokens, and as well as your henchmen. There's some of them actually have henchmen, which are in your threat cards. They'll have like a henchman in there that you need to take off health to eliminate the threat card. Here you've got your other tokens, your civilians, and that one's a thug. And if you flip it over, you got your civilian. They populate your location cards on here. Just on here, you'll see they sort of fill up here. They'll come that you have to pre-fill. And over here we've got our action tokens. So you've got 4 to pick from. Now these are also on your hero cards as well. So that one's attack. That allows you to clear a threat, clear a thug and attack a henchman's health as well as your villain. So if I just flip up one of these, you'll see they're on your cards as well. So they mean exactly the same. This one here is your heroic token. Now that one's allows you to clear a threat and rescue a civilian. And you've got your movement token or speed. Obviously it allows you, however many of these you've got, that's how many times you can move. The tokens are pretty good. They're pretty thick. They're I guess they're tokens. I don't see the special out of it, as they do the job. You know, they're not flimsy. They are good. This one's your wild, so it can be either one of those three. So that's your action tokens. Now over here you got your, I guess your other sort of tokens. Like these ones are your vulnerability tokens. So if you draw a card in the hero card and it states that you can't be attacked this round, it's just a reminder. That one's just a reminder token to let you know. This one's the speed token, so it's opposite. So one picks up speed, so the villain moves faster. The other one slows it down, so the villain moves slower. And these tokens here are your crisis tokens. Again, they work with a villain. Certain villains use them. I'll just pick that up there. So they are pretty good. So that's essentially all your items out of the box. I'll just give me a few seconds. I'll tidy up this table here, and when we come back, I'll start setting up for you. I'll see you soon. Okay, and we're back. Now, as you can see, I've got the mission guide set up in the center here. This is standard throughout the whole core box. You always have a mission guide. It helps you through it. So your next step, we'll pick the villain that we're playing against. You get 4. You've got Magneto, Mystique, Juggernaut, and Sabretooth. Now Sabretooth is the one I'm going to be setting up for. It's the one they recommend to start with. So we'll set up for Sabretooth. So what you do is you look at the special setup rules. You follow those. This one says assign the hunter token to the starting hero. They are the hunted hero. So we'll assign that. The hunter token is this token here. So when we pick the hero, we'll assign the hunted token to him. The super villain, we don't use that. That only comes into play when you play the one versus many. So it's pretty much all extra tokens that you add to the heroes. So we don't worry about that. It's just the special rules at this stage. So we flip it over. You'll notice over here on the left, you've got the number of players, so 2, 3 or 4, and you've got a set health. So you just follow the health. I'll be setting up for the 2-player game, so it'll be 5 health. And then we've got his special rules, so you have a read of his special rules. I'll explain a lot of these later. His BAM, overflow, and a villainous plot. Now a lot of these will be different on your other different villains. So we'll place him down, put the rest away. You get out your mission cards. So you'll have, there's 4 in a pack. We only need 3. So you've got use Cerebro, defeat thugs, clear threats, and rescue civilians. Now this one here, use Cerebro. We only use that when we're playing with Magneto as the villain. So he'll use that instead of this one. So you pretty much they'll sort of swap. Only when you're playing with Magneto. But at the moment, it would just be these three. So we'll place them down. Doesn't matter which way. Put them down there. Like that. There is no set spot. As long as they're down there, that's all that matters. So now that we've got that down, we've got our locations that you can choose from. Instead of 8, you've got to pick 6. So we'll give them a shuffle. They are quite large. They get a bit hard to shuffle, but you know, do your best. Then we flip them face up. So we go. I do recommend in a circular shape, but do what you can with the room you've got. The rest can go back away. So do what you can, sort of with the room you've got, as long as you can go clockwise and anti-clockwise. So as long as, you know, if you've got a character, you can move adjacent. You can't move this way. So you've got to go sort of adjacent, clockwise or anti-clockwise. So now that they're done, you'll notice down here, a lot of them will have an end of turn action. So that becomes active the moment you clear up a threat. So I'm just about to get those threat cards out now. So if you clear up a threat, if you end your turn here, you just follow that, you can use that. So put them down. So we'll pick the matching villain minis, and these are master plan cards and threat cards. So you've got his master plan cards and threat cards. Give them a shuffle. Put them off to one side. I'll sit up here, so I need the room down here. So give these a shuffle. So I'll move this up a bit more, just so it's in play. There we go. Hopefully that hasn't knocked anything out. Okay, so once they're shuffled, again, place them down face up. Now if you notice on the locations, they'll have like a, I guess called a silhouette. This looks like there's a token already on it, but they're not. So they're just your pre-filled, so you fill them up. So you grab your tokens. I've got them here. This doesn't come with the game. I purchased these at a cheap shop just to help so they're not scattering everywhere. So we pre-fill them with what they're showing here. Got 2 up there. Civilian, and a thug. Also, you grab your threat tokens. So we'll place them down next to the threats. Okay, and you choose your heroes. I'm going with Professor X and Wolverine. So they're my 2 heroes. So you grab the hero cards. Now if you have a look at Wolverine, Wolverine will have a starting hand card. So we'll move that out, give the rest a shuffle. And put that one back on. So he'll always start with that. Professor X doesn't have one, so we'll just give him a shuffle. He's ready, so we've assigned Sabretooth's starting health. We'll choose the active character, Wolverine can be it. So you'll get the hunter token. Now we choose a location for where Sabertooth starts. Now it's random, so you can go either way. You can roll a dice to pick a random spot, or just throw it down. It's random, just throw it down anywhere. Now the heroes will start at the opposite location to the villain. So they'll start there. So if Sabertooth was to start there, they'll be there, opposite, so forth. So we'll have that. Now you draw, you assign your token pool. So I've got my action tokens, thugs and civilians. I'll put them somewhere where I can get. The rest of these tokens here, they only come into play with certain villains that you play. So at the moment we won't need those, so we'll push them off to the side. And then we draw 3 cards. And essentially that is the setup. That's the setup phase, and you're ready to play. So what you're doing is you're creating a story. So you've got a storyline. Again, like a circle they recommend. I haven't got the room, the cards will fall off the table. My table's not quite big, so I'll just throw them down here just to give you a bit of a thing to show them how to look, like how they look. Now villain will always go first. So you choose the villain's master plan card, flip it over, and all you're doing is you're just following. So you'll have a movement, whether it's clockwise or anti-clockwise. You'll have a number or writing where it goes. Then you'll follow, you'll have an activation symbol there. The red thing looks like a target. The moment you land on the location, that's your location. So that activates. For argument's sake, Sabertooth, we follow this one, he'll move to the hunted location, to the location with the hunted hero. So that's Wolverine, he's got the hunted token. So he moves there, so clockwise. This will activate. So you follow that. That'll, and you just follow that. So pretty much while it says discard all civilians from this location, deal 1 damage to 1 hero in both locations. In both adjacent, so that's your adjacent. So if there was a hero there, they'll both wear a damage. Essentially, that's how you do it. So put that into the storyline. So Sabertooth will move. That will activate. Those are civilians. There is. It disappeared. No one's there. So that doesn't, nothing works there. Then the BAM will activate. Now how the BAM activates, it says deal 2 damage to 1 hero in Sabertooth's location. This must be the hunted hero. So the BAM on the villain activates first. So how we deal damage is Wolverine will, he's the hunted hero, he'll wear 2 damage. So 2 health disappears. So your health is the cards that's in your hand. So we've got 3. So he gets dealt 2 damage. 2 will go away. That goes underneath his deck. So he's left with 1 card, so he's been dealt damage. Once that BAM's activated, if you've got BAM on your locations here, on your threat locations, which I haven't got one here, but I'll show you one off of Mystique. These will activate. So this will activate if you've got them. So after the villain, this will activate. So essentially the one on the villain will activate first, and then it'll go clockwise. So that's how the BAM works. And then next you populate the tiles. So there'll be 2 civilians on this location, 2 civilians on this location. So it's adjacent. So if you have a look, that's where Sabertooth is. And so I've completed those 2 there. Now, so that's and then you've got your special rules. If you read here, when the hunted hero is KO'd before activating BAM, give the hunter token to the next hero in the play order. When a hero without the hunter token is KO'd, draw another master plan card and add it face down to the storyline. So I'll explain what that is. So I've shown you how you take damage. So how you become KO'd is if you end up taking enough damage, or you have to discard in any other means out of your hand. So we have no more cards in our hand. So you become KO'd. Now the moment you become KO'd, you follow this. So what's that saying is, if Wolverine becomes KO'd, he has the hunter token that moves on to Professor X. Now once you're KO'd, the BAM effect kicks in again, but only for the villain. If you've got them on the locations, they don't come into play. It's only for the villain. So you'll follow this again, and Professor X is on the location, so now he would take 2 damage. So that's how that works with your hunter token. But if Professor X was to take damage and gets KO'd, so he takes enough damage, he becomes KO'd. He doesn't have the, I'll just throw these up. So he doesn't have the hunter token, so he takes damage. And this other bit works. So you just take one of Sabretooth's master plan cards, throw it into the storyline face down, sorry. And that's it. So essentially it's just chewing up time. So that's your KO'd. Hold up. Whoa, just wait a couple of seconds. Let's just pause this for a sec. Now, talked about the ban, what happens with the ban, for the master plan card and the villain dashboard, the threat cards. Then I talked about KO'd, what happens when your hero's KO'd. Can't believe I missed what happens when it's your next turn, the KO'd hero's next turn. Can't believe, it's on page 10 here. You stand your hero up and you draw up the 4 cards. Simple process. Simple. Very simple. Can't believe I got that. Oh well. Back to it. Amateur. I'll throw that on there. Now I will be doing a playthrough later on, just to explain a bit more, so you can jump onto that and find out. So we've touched bases on how the card works. So Sabretooth would come over here, that would activate, which I have. No one's there. So we do the BAM. Wolverine will take 2 hits. So he's left with 1 card. Then we've populated the locations. So now it's the hero's turn. So Wolverine being the active, he'll draw a card. Now you can pick a card. That's attack. So once you play that down, essentially what Wolverine can do is he can attack. He can't attack the villain just yet. I'll explain how you can take health off of that in a sec. But he can attack a thug and you place it up there to help clear a threat, to help clear the location. Now, so that'll be essentially Wolverine's go. So now it's Professor X, draw a card. So we'll play a card. We'll place it down into the storyline. So not only does Professor X get a move and a heroic, he'll get an attack. So what we do is, so you get a move, heroic, and an attack. So what we can do is we can move. Heroic will clear a civilian. So you can clear a civilian, or you can help clear a threat. So you can place a heroic token on there and try to clear up a threat. So either way, you can choose whichever one you want to do. So we've done the move and then we've done an attack. So again, you can do an attack. So essentially that's it for Professor X. Now Wolverines, we'll use this one here. This one's a good one. That's special ability, so you can use that. So it gives you, I guess, a bonus. Hence special ability. So Wolverine right now will get a wild, a heroic, a move, and 2 attack as his special ability, he will not get what's on this card. So you only get the one that's just been played next here, the previously played card. So he'll get a heroic, so we'll get a move. So let's say we move over here. I'll use the 2 attack, clean that up. Then I'll use a heroic. We might throw another token here. And then I'll use that as another heroic and clear up a civilian. The wild is a heroic. So essentially that's how the cards and the play works. Now you'll do this, you'll go villain, hero, 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 then you'll do villain, hero, 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 and villain, hero, 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 until you clear up one of these mission cards down here. The moment you clear one of these up, it's looking like this, we'll just say we cleared up the thugs. Cleared that up. These will move down. Now this will be unlocked. And it says villain acts after every 2 hero cards. So now Sabretooth will go, so you'll go villain, and Wolverine, I don't know, it'll be Professor X, so Professor X will draw, you'll sit down. Now it'll be Wolverine's turn, you draw, place down. Now it'll be Sabretooth's turn again, and you place it down. So that's how you've opened that up. So you've unlocked that, and that it picks up the time, I guess. So that's done. So then it'll be villain, hero, hero, villain, hero, hero, villain. Now, the winning and losing. Winning, obviously, you need to attack Sabretooth to clear up his health. Now, to do that, you need to use the attack actions on the cards or on your tokens, but you need to clear up a second mission card. So it doesn't matter whichever one, that'll move down, or you'll clear that up. But the moment you clear up 2, this unlocks, and now the villain is now vulnerable to damage. So we can actually find cards to move us over there and attack Sabretooth's health. The moment you get that down to 0, knock him out, you win. Now to lose the game. You've got 3 ways of losing it. One is Sabretooth cannot pick up any more of his mission plan cards. Game over. If you run out of cards from your hand and your deck, so if you can't physically draw or play a card, game over. So if we have no more cards, they've all been played over there, I can't pick any, so it's game over. So I've run out. That's the second way. Now the third way is if they're villainous, if they've got a villainous plot, they generally do, if that comes into it, you'll lose. Now with Sabretooth, it says the heroes lose if the hunted token is given back to the starting hero. In a 2-hero game, they only lose when that happens a second time. So what that means, it's a hunted token. So obviously so if Sabretooth gets, Wolverine gets knocked out and he's holding the token, it goes to Professor X. If Professor X gets knocked out, moves on to Wolverine, that's 1. So if Wolverine again gets knocked out, moves over to Professor X. Professor X gets knocked out, goes on to Wolverine, game over. Now if you've got a third player, say I can say whichever hero it is, Cyclops, so Cyclops started it, he gets knocked out, goes to Wolverine, Wolverine gets knocked out, goes to Professor X gets knocked out, goes back to Cyclops, game over. So they're the 3 ways, that's your winning and losing. Now this way is a cooperative game. You are playing to help each other out as a team. And essentially, that is it. You keep going until you either win or lose. You do have cards that do offer challenge. If you find it's getting a bit too easy, you can add a bit of sort of challenge cards to it to increase the difficulty. And So yeah, that's essentially it. If it's out there already, if you got it, have a crack. The rules aren't too bad to get your head around. Once you get going, you'll find that it'll come to you. Again, I hope this helps. So thanks for watching. There will be a playthrough. I will have a playthrough, so hit that like, that subscribe, that notification so you don't miss out. Again, leave some questions down there. I am more than happy to answer them. And I'll see you soon. Happy gaming.